Hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me all right? So appreciate you taking the time to, well, go down this little experiment road with us. We've never used Twitter Space before, so we're going to. Um, so everybody that is currently listening on Telegram, we are on Twitter. That is where this current Telegram AMA is going to be taking place. So please review the links, and I'll post it again in Telegram. But we're on Twitter Space. Cool. All right. Let me just get that posted. We'll wait for a couple of minutes. Let's get everybody else into. I know that this is a newer attempt. So there we go. AMA on Twitter. So let a few more people come on in. Noodles, Dirty Mike, I see you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow a few people, such as, oh, I just saw Mike disappear. You're invited to speak. Dirty Mike, invited to speak. And then I believe there's just the normal hand raising process. So we'll go ahead and get started now. I know that this is going to be kind of a tutorial kind of step for a lot of people to be able to get accustomed to using some of these other platforms. So much appreciated that you guys are taking your time out. There's some current AMAs that are going on through the Nobility token that they're hosting some unified DeFi on Twitter Space. And so that's how we've kind of gotten to the intro and where I've actually done a couple of AMAs over in there, just popping into that space. We want to start taking advantage of aspects of social media that aren't going to be just Telegram. I know that we've tried to do a couple of AMAs over in Discord, and we'll probably try to increase those as well. But as we all know, Twitter is a massive powerhouse in this crypto space. And unfortunately, it doesn't allow me to do video, which is a part I really like about Telegram, but it does allow me to record. And it does give the opportunity for everybody to then share this tweet out. The unique aspect of that is if you're in our Telegram group and you have an AMA going on, you have to be in the Telegram group. And actually, I see Rick is actually in here as well. So thank you for joining, my friend. I'll even unmute you as well. The nice part about Twitter Space is it allows you to then tweet it out. And so anybody that's in your network, that's basically in your following or people that you follow or that have basically that you reach can then be invited to this space. So it's a little bit unique from that aspect that from an EverReflect team standpoint, we're able to hit a larger community and sometimes a more unique community because even though you might be following a number of projects such as EverReflect, maybe the people that you're that are following you that will see your tweets aren't necessarily even in crypto. Maybe they hold our token, but maybe they don't, and maybe that'll be a new experience, a new way for us to actually invite people in. So, with that being said, before we get into any kind of questions, we have a couple of updates. I know that you guys were aware that we had DGEM, their project team, and we had Jewel in for an AMA on Telegram last week. Now, the beautiful aspect of working with their team and specifically the founders and their development team is that they've already built out a number of utilities. So from the beginning of this project, I've been in touch with them prior to launch that they were going to help with the development stage of our BSC chart and then also our dev message board and our dev rating system. So now that that is confirmed, I can officially announce that basically with our dev team and with the DGEM dev team, that our exchange platform, our charting platform, which will look much like their exchange platform, will be coming either early in April or late in March. and that will be something that'll be pretty awesome. It's going to be very similar to the specs that they have, but that was one of those partnerships that we wanted to leverage. People that have already built out utilities take the code, be able to implement it basically into the EverReflect ecosystem, as everybody likes to call these things, um, and that will be the first utility that's outside of staking. That'll give the platform the opportunity to sell the advertising. It'll also give the option for us to have the swap function. And the nice part with that swap function is that we'll be able to choose the tokens that will be available on our swap, similar to what you're seeing with some of these like SafeMoon, um, starting with our partners. So Green Life Energy, MetaBUSD, those tokens will be the ones that will be available in that swap. Bigger news, we have made some progress, some very solid steps and forms for the NFT ticket minting, but also some of the beta testing that we're going to launch also in March. So the first round of beta testing that we are going to do for the NFT tickets, it's going to actually be based here in Michigan. We're going to have focus groups going out that will actually be utilizing NFT tickets that'll be minted for a number of locations. The slated 3 locations that we're utilizing just in the month of March. So keep in mind, this is not going to be the full platform. People will not necessarily be able to buy these tickets as far as the NFTs go, because the full project, the full platform is still slated for third quarter. This will be beta testing with focus groups. Those focus groups will have NFT tickets for locations such as water parks here in the state of Michigan. They will have access to places such as the Gilmore Car Museum is one of the targets for a classic car museum. And then also a few festivals that are taking place here in the state. One of them in Frankenmuth, Michigan is the 80s Festival that we're partners with for my full-time job. In addition to EverReflect, is the marketing director for Michigan Festivals and Event Association. The reason I've stayed on board with that job for so long is because of the connections and the alliances that I have, not in just the entertainment space, but also in the convention space, the music space, and a number of these other. Um, everybody wants to talk about like the large scale, like how do we get NFT tickets like Coachella or Garth Brooks, right? But in all reality, we're going to be starting this out on a slower scale, more in-house for smaller festivals, smaller projects, smaller locations such as museums to beta test this. The advantage, well, one, um, let's take for example the 80s Fest or the car museum. These are direct contacts and direct colleagues of mine and the group that we work with the festival association. So it gives us the opportunity for them to not adopt the entire platform out of the gate. It gives them the opportunity to beta test it with say 20 to 50 tickets. So the EverReflect team, what we will do is we're actually going to be purchasing those tickets. We're going to be minting them into NFTs, and then those people that will sign up for the focus groups will be able to then go and redeem those NFT tickets at those locations. Why that is important? One, it gets it in the minds of the people that are actually going and attending the events, because these are not going to be crypto people. I guess that's something that needs to be stated pretty pretty boldly, that the people that will be redeeming these NFT tickets to either attend the car museum or to attend the 80s Fest or any other festival, or any water park or any other real destination location are going to be real world people that are just brought in from a focus group. The benefit of that is that they're not in the crypto space. So they're going to be utilizing a ticket on our platform that's minted by EverReflect, redeeming it at a location to basically have an experience. Those will be all documented, whether it's going to be just via video on the phones for the people that are attending, or at certain locations that we'll be sending out basically people to take video as well, so it can be documented. It's not anything that's going to be too mind blowing. if that makes sense, because we've all purchased the concert ticket, we've all purchased a ticket to a museum or to an amusement park, and then you either receive the hard ticket in the mail, or more than likely, as of in recent years, you most likely have received an email with a QR code that you can either put into your Apple Wallet, or you can take that QR code, take a screenshot of it and have that QR code scanned at the location. With this beta testing, it'll be those people having it on their phone, that they'll have the NFT tickets, they'll have it in a wallet, and then the way that they'll redeem access to that venue will be with our NFT tickets. So that's all coming in March. It's pretty exciting, actually, because it's allocating the first steps to real world implications of people um, that aren't necessarily crypto minded having to utilize crypto. And that's really been the long term strategy that we've tried to say over and over, that most of our partnerships that we're doing with other tokens are tokens that are building utilities that are real world applications. So whether that's the virtual reality space, whether that's the green energy space, in our case it's going to be the event ticketing space, but it's getting crypto and blockchain out to the rest of the world that basically already has to purchase or buy these assets, but you're now having to utilize a utility token to get access to that event or to gain that asset. Um, One other aspect, it's pretty much been all announced previous, though, that basically Chris from MetaBUSD is going to be one of the leads on that whole process, because the process with NFT ticket minting is a very simplistic process for some if you're just doing one NFT. The process for minting mass amounts is quite complex when it comes to either the number of spreadsheets that you need to have, because every single NFT is unique. So keep that in mind. If you have 100 tickets or 100 NFTs that all even look similar, they're all going to have unique aspects, not just the barcode, but just even in the design. That becomes a little bit more strategic if it's no longer just a general admission event. So if it's not a general admission concert, or not just general admission access, say, to a theme park, but it's an actual seated venue space. So then Stu, Chris, and I, and a number of other people are going to be working on the concepts of implementing basically a floor plan or a footprint for that specific venue. So then those venues could have seating charts that are lower balcony or side balcony or whatever it might be. But basically, just think of a venue that has seating. So then that's another step with implementing the build out of specific NFTs, because each one of those then have to be numbered to the specific seat. The best aspect of working with Chris, not beyond the fact that he's a cool dude and that he's also brilliant in the space with just contracts in the blockchain, is that with MetaBUSD, they're building out virtual reality. So over the next week or two, we'll have some additional announcements and kind of strategy plans of what we're going to be implementing from the 360-degree camera space. So you guys know that I'm in the event planning space. Well, the event planning space of real world experience and being there live in person, right? The stuff we couldn't do through COVID. You could watch a video, but you couldn't necessarily go to an in-person concert. So my strong suit as far as connections and allies and experience is actually for those specific live events. Chris's strong suit is doing this virtually. So with these 360-degree cameras, we're going to be going through the process of a couple of vendors of actually purchasing them in-house. So they will be, in essence, EverReflect assets that will be either paired with MetaBUSD assets that we'll be buying together, but we'll basically have our own in-house 360-degree cameras, which will then also open up an avenue and door of building larger production teams that we'll end up having to hire to go on site to these locations. The aspect of these 360-degree cameras, is that you can take one and you can place it, say, in, we'll use the music venue example again, and you can place that 360-degree camera in the front row or on the stage left of the actual performance. And with your Oculus glasses or whatever you're using for the 360-degree virtual reality experience, you are in house right there, as though you're sitting next to the person to your left or sitting to the person to your right, being able to view it in a 360-degree space. And it also affords the opportunity for a few more unique experiences that you can only get with the NFT ticket purchase, because you're watching it virtually. So you can literally have one person that's on our camera crew taking that camera around and staging it. And either backstage before the concert, maybe you can actually get the performers to agree that they're going to be, right there as they're doing the group prayer, or that they're doing stuff during the sound check and the setup. So the 360-degree camera aspect isn't just for the live show. It can actually afford you the opportunity to build out other parts of the actual experience, and sit there before the show, sit there, during the warm ups. And it also affords us the opportunity to build out a virtual lounge. So, say you've gone to the experience and you've actually watched the concert, but you have the NFT ticket that is aligned with, we'll call an artist John King. He's a country guy and he's a buddy of mine. So if John signs up for the virtual lounge as well, and you own the NFT ticket and you went to see John's concert a week ago, we can also pair that with metadata from the concert. So then you could get the photos, from the stage or from the experience of where the camera was. So you have had the NFT ticket, you've had the virtual experience, you have the metadata with the photos afterwards. You can also then come into John's virtual lounge that maybe he comes in there, let's say once a month. And it's only for any NFT ticket holders that have ever purchased show tickets to one of his shows. Gives the opportunity for you to then use the NFT ticket again, because now you're in a one-on-one experience, either in the lounge, or say it's set up that in the virtual reality space it's all of his albums on the wall, or you're out in the country, or wherever he chooses to have that virtual space be in that lounge. And then he can directly speak, whether it's playing a new song that he's just writing, or whether it's something that he just wants to get out new information early about an album drop. And it can be a 10, 15-minute, 20-minute, little pop into the virtual lounge. So those are all the discussions that have taken place over the last week, that are going to be implemented, starting with that beta testing, for those first actual in-person live events. But as I was saying, the purchasing of these 360-degree cameras and building up the assets, and then building up the people that will help with the production side of things. I know I've mentioned before that, like, I go back to music because that's kind of my roots more so than anything, especially in the festival space. But this can be implemented in so many different things, and it can be any destination or experience. So that destination or experience could be a theme park, riding roller coasters, and then you set up the camera to experience that. It could be a water park. It could be, like I said, the museums. It could be any number of things that are taking place live, especially if it's a one off, say it's a free event, say it's something that is just a rally, or it's a space shuttle launch, or it's something that's just one unique aspect of what's happening somewhere in the country. We can allow people to have our cameras there on location, buy the NFT ticket, go into the virtual space, and then you're experiencing that live as though you're standing right where that 360-degree camera is. So those are all of the current updates of where we're at with the BSE chart, but also, major progress from the NFT ticketing side. And I think it'll be really, really interesting to watch people's reactions, especially because, like I was saying, these focus groups are not going to be people that are crypto people. So it's not going to be, I mean, we see a lot of the same faces in here, whether it's Noodles or whether it's Niz or Mike or Rick. Like Lunar's here as well, and actually let me unmute Chris as well. Uh, invite to speak. So even if you want to jump in here, Meta Captain, if there's anything else that you think of that, actually, let me make you a co-host. There you go. So going back to that, doing these as focus groups and getting to watch people basically experience the redemption that they're able to watch this and then document it. With any focus group, it's usually a paid experience. They'll be able to get the tickets for free, and then there will usually be compensation for their time to be able to even go do something fun. But then there's requirements, and so our requirements with this focus group will be something like you have to document it with either video, that you have to actually show the transaction taking place of being scanned in, you have to share it to social media, et cetera, et cetera. And I've run a number of these focus groups in years past with just other marketing campaigns. So that'll be something that we want to make sure we do because we want it documented. It's great if somebody's able to go to the car museum and they're able to get access, because of a free ticket of an NFT that's on their phone. But it's much more of an impact that it'll be able to be documented. And then hopefully, I mean, I've said this from day one as well. What we're doing isn't the most fancy of utilities. It's never supposed to be the most fancy. It's supposed to be the most logical. Like, what is the most logical thing that you can do to implement an NFT ticket and make that ease of use, make people get, it goes back to the words adoption that I talk about a lot, but like adopting the process. It took us a while years ago to go from like the old flip phones to like the smartphone. It took us a while to understand, QR codes are the dumbest thing in the world until they were the coolest thing in the world because we couldn't touch the menus. So that's going to be this process of slowly integrating the concept. But you see the NFT term is getting thrown around everywhere. So whether it's with the NFL or whether it's with Coachella or even just here in Twitter, um, actually one of my coworkers for the festival organization asked the other day, she's like NFT, like is that Nelly Furtado? Like what is an NFT? So it goes back to the education, getting people accustomed to the term. But once that adoption takes place, I don't think it'll be any that much more of a step. I think the step going from a physical hard ticket that you had to buy at a box office or that you received from Ticketmaster through the mail and then redeeming live at an event was a harder adoption, to go to like you getting the email and now you're redeeming it on your phone. People are already redeeming it on their phones. So,
I was gonna say, honestly, if I can chime in
yeah,
there,
please do.
that's the key element. Is like you just said it a second ago. It doesn't always have to be necessarily like quote unquote sexy product.
Right,
For early adoption, it really is just as easy as finding the partners that, for multiple reasons, on the business side of things, would want the added security of working with you to deliver tickets on the blockchain,
right, right.
non-transferable, and being able to deliver a product like that from the business perspective, they want to work with you.
Yep,
So if it's as easy as just facilitating the same ticket that they already have, that's a digital ticket, into an NFT, that's all you necessarily have to do at first to get that adoption rolling. But then
right,
of course the options are endless. They could have creative artwork NFTs, they could have multifunctional NFTs, so on and so forth. And there are so many artists already that are on the bandwagon of NFTs to be able
right.
to combine those existing NFT products with their tickets is again um, another
It's
level of interaction with the customer.
Right, exactly. It's just another asset that's already included basically with the ticket idea because especially in the entertainment world, everything needs to be kind of better than the last. Like that's just the way it ends up going, especially if you've attended some of these festivals. It's like, what's the next big wow factor? Which in a lot of ways it correlates with cryptocurrency so well because you see these wow factors that come up with um, like the next headliner, what are they doing at Bonnaroo this year? What are they doing at Lala this year? And so with us being able to implement this, especially from the regional artist standpoint, a good portion of my connections and my background are in the Nashville music scene and in those singer songwriters like that. That is the pool that we're probably going to leverage the most to start. And then also the urban and hip hop scene, which is quite big here in Michigan and then in Chicago. Um, because they get that idea of wanting to offer. I mean, Chris, we had this conversation about, it was either yesterday or Saturday, about how the fans that are committed to a mid-level artist are typically more ardent committed fans than the ones that are necessarily going to see you know the larger Adeles, because they love Adele, but there's millions of people that love Adele. If you like John King, there's only a few thousand, and those are the ones that we think that we can leverage as well from the early adoption standpoint, because they're going to be geeked at the idea of like, oh, this is early access to the virtual experience, or this is early access to getting some of the additional benefits of purchasing a ticket that's an NFT, and then the assets that they'll carry on over. And they're the ones that I think will help to really build up the foundation of NFT ticket adoption, because they're committed to their artist. So once the artist or the comedian or I go back to music a lot, but obviously this spans into anything that's a destination that's ticketed. But to formulate it for explanation purposes, it usually works best with music. Um, those are going to be the ones that want to purchase that additional, even if even if the price, well, if the price is the same, that there's probably not going to be much of a question other than the ease of use. And that's where a lot of Chris's knowledge is going to come in from our team standpoint, why he's in essence basically one of the, you know he, I mean, I can't call him an EverReflect dev in public, but I mean, like he's leveraged. He knows so much more about the process and the contracts than anybody else I've met in the space, and he's just one of the coolest people to work with. So it's a blessing for us as a team to be able to even have that, to have access to his brain, and it's going to.
You keep on skating over the fact, like, I don't even know if you've announced it, because I actually already announced it to my community, but you should link, okay, because I know I'm excited about it because it's so easy to do, and I'm sure we can make this happen very quickly. Giving away season pass NFTs to amusement parks in like our regions, your region and
Yeah.
my region. Um, I think that that's going to be like a quick, easy facilitator of proof of concept
Yep. Yep.
for everything. And I'm positive that's an easy conversation to be had with the local participants in my region and yours.
Yeah, and I think maybe I had said that right before you jumped on. So as far as the three alliances that I confirmed this morning, we're going to do the Gilmore Car Museum that's in Kalamazoo, Michigan, for sure. There's an '80s festival, which is a couple day music festival that takes place in Frankenmuth, Michigan, and then we have a couple of water parks that are in Traverse City and also Frankenmuth, that are on board. But the number of partners that the and a lot of credit, and I have to give a lot of credit back to my coworkers with the festival organization, because they realize that my time, even though I'm still the marketing director for Michigan Festivals and Event Association, a lot of my time over the last 3-4 months has gone into the EverReflect crypto space, building this concept of basically building crypto with entertainment or experiences. And so those contacts are already excited about the concept. They're already excited about the idea of additional security, because even though there's not a lot of counterfeiting per se for say a water park, um, it's just an added level of security, and it's an added level of kind of technology that so many business owners know of the blockchain, and they know of this technology, but they don't know how to implement it into real world because it just seems so intimidating. And we're trying to, in essence, make this as simple for the end user, one, but simple for the people that are in those organizations, those business leaders or those venue owners or those destination owners or those individual artists, to implement it into their own businesses as well. And that's the key, is keeping this as simple as possible. And for what we already have planned, and like I said, I'm confident that we can obviously implement it, even sooner than what I already put out. But I put into the mid-March time frame for this. But it's a simple concept now that we have the partners in place, and that we have people that want us to basically turn their current tickets into NFTs. Um, we're sitting in a good spot. So
Well, and again, like as, and for instance, perfectly simple for like the end user, but what it gives you as far as the added technicality on the back end is amazing.
right.
Things that people don't consider from like the events organizer perspective, things like uh, things like what the interaction was, the information and the data that you can collect from the NFT interaction at the event itself is valuable and at the same time secured from like a privacy standpoint. You don't know who that is or what they're doing, you just know what they did and
Right.
what the interaction was. So both parties win-win there. And I would say win-win in a better format that's currently taking place.
Yep.
From a technical standpoint, from like whenever you do an event and you have that, you get back home and you have to like log into that event headquarters like database and download thousands of like weird emails and phone numbers and strange stuff like that and try to piece it together. All
Right.
of that stuff is like null and void if you're tracking the actual data that matters, and that's what the person did and how they interacted. I believe in time that you'll be able to build this NFT platform from more than just a ticket itself into an overall expense coverature of the event
Yeah.
and processing those expenses through EverReflect itself. But that's for a better
Right.
conversation, a different.
Right. Right. But the cool part is that you're taking going back to it being a fairly simplistic process that we all do at least annually, if not more often, even monthly, to attend something that's ticketed. Um, taking a fairly simplistic process, adding it into a real world experience, and making that experience better for the end user, but also better for the organizer, the business that's purchasing it. There's so many different aspects of why, um, that's why we're putting all of our dedication and focus into this. People want multiple utilities. We're going down the road of the first utilities, we're putting it out there, but we're leveraging other projects to build those for us, so that in-house, this is the bread and butter, this is what we want to be known for. And the progress is happening in a manner that, um, it's even blowing me away with some of the conversations I'm having with a couple of these colleagues, for their businesses or for the end user, because a lot of people get that idea. Like, even though it's blockchain and even though it's crypto, they can get their minds wrapped around this. Oh, okay, so it's just basically like a QR code that I have in my phone. Okay, if that's, I can do that. So you got them to that point of adoption already. Now all the other aspects that'll be able to come with the data that's collected for either the business or for the end user to be able to access the metadata and some of the other features and bonuses that'll come with that experience after the fact. It is it's hard to come up with a reason that it's not a win-win across the board for everybody that's going to be using it. So with that being said, we can open up the floor. I know that I've been winded and nonstop talking for 35 minutes. And Chris, thank you for popping in. Are there any questions, or does anybody have any any ideas or any thoughts or any reasons to, that you might want to contribute to the discussion, or questions about the process, or any of the thoughts that you guys might have? I think that you can just raise hands, right? Hey, Mike, why don't you raise your hand just so that I can see if that gives me the opportunity. How about this? I have made Rick, you can unmute yourself. Can you give me any reasons for why I may not know if I'm using Twitter Spaces correctly? Yeah, and why don't you introduce yourself as well? Because thank you for taking out the time to be here in our first Twitter Space and watching this mess that I'm trying to pull off.
No, it's my honor. First of all, congratulations on the launch, and also being on Twitter for your first AMA. It is the big deal. This is how you can get a lot of people into your project that are not familiar with EverReflect. So I think you've done a really good job for this first AMA on Twitter.
Well, thank you, much appreciated. Lunar, are you there? Can you unmute yourself? I want you to introduce yourself too. Maybe I can't. Maybe I have to invite to host.
Yeah, they can request a mic, or you can throw them an invite.
Wait to co-host.
Yeah, and I'm fairly certain if anybody does request, they'd move up. Nature, why don't you request real quick?
I got the heart, Nature. You're allowed 2 co-hosts. Yeah, looks like I'm probably not doing it the best.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to EJ, man.
There.
He's out here. He's doing his thing. It's his first time on Twitter. I want everyone to just show him some love and try to repost this. And yeah, man, good luck.
Much appreciated, Nature. Yeah, so even though EverReflect's on Twitter, I'm sure a lot of people that are in Telegram have seen Mo, who is one of our angels from heaven, to be honest, because he stepped into a role from the beginning before launch and has been a dedicated team, and actually ended up joining the board just a couple of weeks ago that we had a spot open up, and unanimously the board actually voted Mo in, but tirelessly actually is the one on Twitter tweeting, so it's not EJ personal. So that's why this is so new to me, because obviously Mo's usually operating. So let's see, is there any other questions? I think Dirty Mike and Mo, I've unmuted both of you guys if you want to try, or Lunar, if you happen to be there. I wouldn't mind you popping up too, and just if you don't mind, just introducing yourself and letting you know how we became friends just about a week ago.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm driving right now to go pick up my daughter, so I've just been listening in. So if I lose you, it's because I'm being yanked over by a cop for doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing while driving.
I guess so. Yeah, don't do that for our first Twitter AMA.
Not the way to kick it off, but look, guys, absolutely awesome to have met you last week during our AMA, or sorry, our Spaces session for Unified DeFi. Rick and I have been hosting these spaces for a solid few months now. It feels like we've been doing them forever, but
yeah.
The aim and the goal of what we've been doing is to bring different projects together. The DeFi space is so new, and there's so much innovation going on within it. And what Rick and I have set out to do is to help foster communication between projects. to get the good ideas, the shared learnings onto the table, so that all these different projects can learn from each other. The entire DeFi space, we all experienced a certain amount of competition between different project communities out there, sometimes a little bit nasty. And what Rick and I have been able to experience, and have been lucky to experience, coming from the Nobility token side of things, is a community that is open-minded to sharing, which is open-minded to having the members of the community build their portfolios around and to help do more in this space. We've started this unified DeFi set of spaces that we run on a weekly basis, now a twice weekly basis, to get projects talking together. So that's a very quick background on that side of things. In my past life prior to COVID, I'm 20 years event ticketing technology and systems and promotions. So I've got a wee bit of experience in this space as well. So I'm very excited to hear what you guys are doing, and listening intently to what you've been able to share here today for your first AMA, which has been absolutely awesome, guys. So very much appreciate you guys doing this and stepping up.
Yeah, much appreciated you jumping in as well, Lunar. And similar to what MetaBUSD coin and Chris is doing with Unified DeFi or United DeFi, it's the same concept. Like we keep going back to this idea of collaboration with projects and the sharing of information and the ability for us all to leverage basically that knowledge together, whether it's for utilities or whether it's for contracts or whether it's just to be able to share information to help others. Because we talk about it all the time that there's only 8% of these projects that are legit, and you still see even legit projects, and you see teams that are docs or that they're doing AMAs or they're putting themselves on camera and they're making sure they're there consistently, which is mostly the key. That even those teams, due to all of the residual bullshit that basically all these other tokens have done for these teams, that people are they're gun shy. And so I acknowledge basically all the men that are at the top right now with Lunar, Meta Captain, and Rick. And thank you guys so much, because it's given the space some legitimacy across multiple platforms so that people can be like, okay, all of these projects are legit. So it doesn't matter which token I pick. Let me pick a project that I like because of the utility or because I like the team. But at least I can trade that utility token with confidence to know, like, these guys are vetted. This is something that's going to be here for a while. And if nothing else, these guys are always going to be working for me as a holder day in and day out on the projects that they are currently doing. Jaqueen, I saw that you had raised your hand, and you can take the stage as well.
Hi there. Thank you. I just wanted to say congratulations on the first AMA in Twitter space. I love the idea behind your project. And on the second note, talking about Unity and crypto, there is a Twitter space that is held every day, every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, which is a collaboration of several project leader devs that only talk education, Unity, and help anyone who has any questions. They can always come there every morning, and they'll run for like 10 to 15 hours a day, but other projects can come in and tell us what their project is about. Some of the more expert people in there will give you their feedback. So you're getting feedback from devs and other investors who have been in crypto for a long time. So I'd like to invite you to that if you just shoot me a DM. And also, I wanted to know if you guys were listed anywhere yet.
I mean, EverReflect token, we actually launched January 20th, the Pancake Swap. We're on CMC, we're on CoinGecko, we've been listed with Flu's Trade. If you type in EverReflect, you'll see there's thousands upon thousands of press releases, or the same with YouTube, that we have a number of influencers that have done videos about us. Our biggest, I guess, community started with Telegram, and we announced the project back in November, and then we ended up going through a process of building up the community. And then in December, we let everybody know when pre-sale was going to be in January. And then in January, we actually had our launch. The first 24 hours, we actually did over 1 million BUSD reflections. We're a reflection token on BSC. Did 7 million in volume, and it's a 15% BUSD reward with 1% liquidity and 1% marketing tax, so a 17% tax. So it is a high reflection tax token, but that's why we took 3 months to build the community, because we wanted everybody to know, like, this is a long-term hold with a long-term strategy of getting into the NFT ticket minting game. We've implemented staking, so partners that we've aligned with since our launch are Green Life Energy, John Wood and his community, obviously, Chris from MetaBUSD. We also have partnerships with DGEM, Brew Labs, Corsac, Light Cash, Hodl Vault. So we're kind of in the space. Like I said, we're coming out with a utility that makes sense, and we're going to form alliances with as many other good projects as possible for cross utilization of the tokens.
Definitely. And that space I was talking about, I think, is the best place for you to do that. Just this last Sunday, we got together 12 different projects who donated over about $33,000 to St. Jude's.
No way.
Yeah, they all came together and donated 1 ETH or more, and we had a whole live stream on it. All the projects got 3 minutes to like shoot their shit, and it was a good time. And
Dude,
also, like every weekend, we all the projects that go into that space, it's not so much about crypto, but we will answer questions if people have them. But we do a bunch of giveaways, and we do like talent show contests. So we get people singing or doing jokes or poetry to like really work for their money. So it's a good time, lots of jokes, lots of laughs, and it draws in a huge crowd. You get over 100 people every weekend. So, oh, this is what I
too
wanted to
cool.
say.
Too cool.
Have you heard of the Diamond Wallet?
Is it a token or is it just a wallet?
It is a wallet, but the token behind it is called Gorilla Diamond, and they have a 0 listing fee right now. It's strictly for BSC projects, so it costs $0, and what you get out of it is you'll do an AMA with the Gorilla Diamond team. Any tokens bought through the wallet will buy directly from PancakeSwap, and it will buy from PancakeSwap, therefore pumping your token's price.
Yeah.
And you can buy it with a credit or debit card, and it's available in 182 countries. They just recently added Australia and Canada.
Wow.
The U.S. is taking the longest because, it's the
We
U.S.
always do. Yep. Yep.
So I did make a tweet, if you want to check my page, and I tagged you in it and the guy you want to get a hold of. So that promo deal is only going on until March 4th. So there's also several other projects already on there. Their phase 2 list of over 10 different projects is coming up here, I think mid-March, end of March. So it'd be awesome to see you guys on there.
Done and done. I actually just sent you a DM from the EverReflect account. My name's EJ, and we're doxxed, but we're in the United States as well. We are a legitimate EverReflect Marketing LLC company in Delaware as well. Just for anybody else that's new that's listening, but yes, without a doubt, I would love to at least get the conversation and dialogue going. And well, philanthropy and actually like charity organizations are a big part of our board and our teams, just hearts as well. So I will definitely make sure that we get a part of that morning group on Twitter as well, because it's a new space. Like that's the cool part about this is that, I mean, how did you end up finding out about this one tonight?
I think I may have heard you speak, or I may have saw a post, and I looked into it, went to the website, looked through everything, and I bought a little bit, and I bought a little bit more just at the beginning of this AMA.
Oh,
so
very cool. Well, thank you.
I love what I'm seeing, and that's why I reached out. how that group got started with all those several projects is people were just tired of the negativity running through Twitter and people getting pulled by rug pulls, and that's how everyone connected. And so we just educate, answer any questions anyone has. We listen to everyone's spiels. And it's project NFTs or collaborations. Those are the people you can talk to if you want to. So,
awesome.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
Just out of curiosity, I know why I love EverReflect. What is it that actually sold you?
I haven't seen this type of utility yet, personally, in any other project.
See, and I love that, and how honestly simplistic it is to like actually use and utilize.
Exactly. I feel the same way. And Brew Labs and Hodl Vault and a couple other ones you said, I'm also invested in those as well. So you can't go wrong with associations.
Right. Yeah, same. And I think it gives a lot of us in the space, we have over 4,000 holders, but we have like 50% of our tokens that are in circulating supply right now are actually staked right now on Brew Labs, earning APR. But it offers a level of security from a dev standpoint. The level of security when you have partnerships with other legit projects, it only gives strength to the whole community because there's not too, even the bigger tokens. Let's even say if you have 100,000 holders, it's still not so massive that it's global. You're not an Apple computer, you're not a Microsoft, you're not a household name like Michael Jordan, So for us that are in that 4 to 10 to 20,000 or even up to 50,000 holder space, for a lot of us tokens, we're not the crypto that everybody talks about or that makes the news. So for us to align ourselves, I look at it from this standpoint. I don't look at it just that, EverReflect has 4,100 amazing holders. I look at it as, between EverReflect and MetaBUSD, we have 9,000 amazing holders. And then you add that with any of the other projects like GNL or Brew Labs and everybody else, then it gives it some weight. Then it gives it some foundation.
Definitely. I agree tremendously. Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to see you talk with all these other projects and see if some meshes between any of you, because I know a lot of them are working together. So for the betterment of everyone. So it sounds like a great deal.
Hey, I'm a eternal optimist that loves the network. So done and done. We're there. Much appreciated, man. Did we have any other?
Yo, what's up, EJ?
Oh, I did unmute you. Shoot. Just joking.
Did you?
That's Base Dev right there. He leads that Twitter space too.
Yeah, so Dirty Mike lives everywhere.
Yeah, I love Dirty Mike. Yeah, he's my brother from another mother.
So I'm trying for like the last 20 minutes to figure out how to unmute. It's on my laptop. And for some reason, Twitter was acting like really weird. So I had to switch it over to my cell phone. But man, I got to tell you, I got my girl here listening next to me. She's hyped for this too. And she's just learning about crypto. Like, that's cool. Yeah, man, I'm definitely excited you're doing this on Twitter too. I think it just opens up so much, more avenues to just doing it, within like the Telegram group. So I definitely think that move over to Twitter is definitely, overdue. And I think you've done an awesome job tonight, you and Chris, and you guys got me hype.
Good. Much appreciated. If you guys don't know, follow Dirty Mike Crypto, his YouTube channel. We're trying to get him to 1,000 followers or 1,000 subs.
I'm getting there. I'm at 600 now. I'm getting there, and and I'm actually starting to get more active with my Twitter, and I just signed up for the podcast, which is now on Apple, on the iTunes store, and on Spotify. So I'm kind of just branching all that out in the different directions. So I'm putting the play together, man. Just take some time to get it all together. But man, I appreciate your support so much, and I'm so excited, man, for this beta testing and just to hear how it goes, because I mean, this is going to be the year EverReflect, man, and MetaBUSD. What you guys are putting together is going to be just next level stuff, and it's just the simplicity of it, like you said, is just the key to it. It's so much stuff that's already out there that you can just kind of get in with. It's awesome.
Yeah, we're excited. There's no question. The first conversations I had with Dirty Mike, when he was starting his YouTube channel, and we just became good friends, was like, we're going to grow this together. So it is a partnership with everybody. It doesn't matter if you're, a legit YouTuber or if you're a legit crypto project. Like, we all want to grow the space. And Jaqueen, you hit the nail on the head. It's education, because there's so much education that's needed to just get accustomed and be able to even operate in this space comfortably. And even once you are, it still can be confusing, and you need other allies that can answer questions for you, and come at it from a standpoint where it's not egocentric and it's like, I know more than you, so I have to show that I'm the smartest person in the room. Like, no, like, on certain subjects, everybody else is smarter than me. I'm not the smartest person in the room, never will be. And I want to make sure that on certain subjects, we can have those people in our core that can help us.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's all about. I mean, that's how life
Absolutely.
works.
Absolutely, man. And I'm actually going to be starting something on my channel to where I'm going to kind of go back to the basics and kind of help some, beginners kind of get introduced to, different terminology with crypto, and just not assume that, all my followers or people who watch my videos, know everything about everything.
Right.
And my girl actually just came up with an awesome idea. She was like, man, I wish you could put together some kind of like space for like women to like educate them, to where it's like a women's group, to where, they could feel safe inside this group to, learn, about crypto and everything. I was like, man, that's a good idea. I never thought about that.
Well,
Because that's
they're actually, coming from Lunar and Rick's group, I followed basically. Sorry, Mo, took over the EverReflect Twitter handle the last week because it hasn't been me. And I followed a bunch of the people that were in the crypto space from their channel. And I saw one that there was a woman that was on there that she actually was promoting a female crypto.
It's Wednesday.
Okay, yeah.
Wednesday night, April, and some different females from different projects are getting together on Wednesday nights for a women in DeFi space. So any of the ladies are invited.
Is it on Twitter or Discord or
It's
Telegram?
it's on Twitter Spaces, Crypto April. I can get you the space link, but it'll be Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I think Nobility Token, Metabolic Token, Rocket BUSD, Ignite DeFi, I think are confirmed to have representatives there.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
any project that wants to come and bring some female representation, it's open. I did while I'm up here, I do want to connect with Jakian about his space. I've got several projects that would be interested. So if I can connect with you or after this, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, just send me a DM, Rick. We'll ham it up.
I'm not able to DM you for some reason, so I followed you, but
Followed you, so you try to shoot me a DM now.
will do. Thank you.
Too cool. I love it. It just proves the point that you bring good people together. It doesn't matter the space. And forward thinking, and I know that we've had this conversation about meetups in person, and there's been some conversations with the Nobility guys, and then some of the stuff coming from Tango Crypto. But we're going to be in that space too, and we're speaking to some of the other devs that are located here in the Midwest, that even if it's a convention in Florida and maybe some people can't attend that I'm based in Michigan and I'm based in the Midwest, obviously, but to do either crypto meetups or to do an actual convention, because that'll be another aspect of this, that as we kind of come through the world that we live in, and everything that we've experienced from COVID, I think that interaction over the social media spaces has become more vital for our lives, and in a lot of ways, maybe in our mental health. But I think that meeting face to face and in person also forges another level of rapport that we're going to really push with the EverReflect community, and do some actual group meetups, and even if it's just to have fun, and it's not necessarily just crypto related, but with the long term goals of also doing conventions here in the Midwest. So, any other questions? Or one other thing that I will announce, and some of the people that are already our mods and admins in our group have been helping me test this out today. So I have signed up for something called Community. And the Community app gives you the opportunity to have a cell phone number. And that cell phone number is going to be made public. So we're going to run a promotion, and people that will see the promotion, it'll be a one BNB giveaway for people that sign up. But it's basically going to be my cell phone number. It comes directly to my phone. It is a real cell phone number, but can only be used for text message purposes. So you can directly text message with me, but I can then also directly text message out the community. So when we have announcements, or we have promotions, or that we have announcements that this AMA is taking place on Discord or Twitter or wherever, um, people that sign up, it is a registration process. So it does look a little funny that when we post this number, it's going to be a 312 area code. I lived in Chicago for 10 years. So Chicago, even though I'm a Michigan boy, Chicago is still in my heart. And we will be posting that text message number so that you can actually sign up. It's a direct connection link right to me, as long as you register through the Community app. But it's a text messaging service that a lot of influencers use. And what we've kind of come to find is that I want to stay in direct conversations with the community as much as possible, but spreading it across multiple platforms. And your day gets eaten up in Telegram versus email versus Discord versus Twitter. This will give the opportunity for anybody that wants to. It does, from what we can tell so far, however, like my boy Sir Noodles is overseas. It's only US based. So you can register and sign up, and you'll be able to text message me directly to that number. But from what we can tell, I'm not quite sure if Canada is allowing it right now. But if you're in the United States, you'll see that number posted in our social media channels. There will be a promotion for people that will be selected randomly to win one BNB that do sign up. But the cool part is that if there are questions, or if there's direct communication, people can text me directly, and I can mass, basically the way it will work is I can mass text out people as a group, or I'll be able to directly text with you one-on-one. So a nice little additional community feature that EverReflect is going to be launching this evening as well. So with that being said, is there any other questions? I've taken up about an hour of everybody's time. Hopefully some of the exciting announcements that are coming in March for this beta testing will be pretty great. And big shout out to, just the people that jumped on stage tonight. Chris, I mean, love the man like a brother. So taking your time out of your busy schedule. Same thing with Jake and Lunar. I know you guys are constantly doing stuff for your community. Jaqueen, amazing that you found us. Nature, Dirty, Noodles, Andy, Crypto, Alan, Dez, everybody that's in here. I know this is probably a smaller AMA than what we're would have on a different platform, but it means the world to me that you guys, one, stuck around as I'm going through this process of trying to figure out the tweet deck, but two, that you took the time to just listen to our community and listen to some of the things that we're doing with EverReflect. And thank you just for all the guests that are here. So
Am I able to personally text your phone number repeatedly and continuously enter this competition for the one BNB?
yeah, you can. You you can. I owe you one BNB, so I'll just send it to you. With that, if there's any other questions, last call. If not, thank you so much, everybody, for your time this evening. We will post that EJ cell phone number. That's gonna be we'll see. Why not? Got to try it, right? That will be posted on Telegram and Twitter. And appreciate everybody's time. You guys have a wonderful evening. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon.